So what would you do if you had one extra day a week? If right now there were 8 days a week instead of 7, a whole 24 hours with nothing planned, what would that do for your business? What would that do for your life? What would that do for your well-being, your sanity? And I cannot necessarily give you an 8th day, but today I want to teach you something that, in my opinion, is just as powerful. I want to teach you how Jess and I cleared up an extra day and a half a week in time with nothing on the calendar. We can do whatever we want with it, so let's dive in. And if you are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is James Whitty. My wife Jess and I have been luxury destination wedding photographers for herself 15 years and me a decade. And we have the privilege of traveling the world, photographing amazing couples all over the place. And now we get to teach you how to do that, how to thrive in business, how to make more money with wedding photography, and if you want to, how to travel the world while doing so. And today specifically, like I just mentioned, I want to talk about time, the use of time, and how to make more of it, because we can make as much money as we want to, but we cannot get time back. But there are things you can do in business that will give you more freedom of time, and I want to talk about that today. So doing what we all do, photography, wedding photography, portrait, family photography, whatever it may be, owning your own business, we sometimes wear a lot of hats. We work a lot inside of our business, and I want to talk about today pulling out and looking into our business and working on our business. If you've never read the book, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, I highly recommend it. He coined that phrase, working on your business instead of in your business. And that means putting on the CEO hat, the owner of the company, and reorganizing things and seeing what can run better and what can give you free time as an owner of a company, and of course, working inside your own company. And today, I want to talk about outsourcing. And outsourcing has a lot of emotions attached to it for us. And specifically today, I want to talk about what has saved Jess and I the most time when we started outsourcing it, and that is editing. And that probably brings up a lot of emotions. Maybe it's excited. You're like, yes, somebody please take this from me. It takes so long. Or maybe if you were like Jess and I for a while, it was, we're probably, in fact, I know I'm the best at this. We're very prideful in our work, especially with editing, as we all should be. I don't want anyone else to touch this. Maybe house cleaning, maybe emails, but not editing. And I had that mindset for a really long time. In fact, it took us 9 years to start outsourcing our editing, and it kind of came out of a breaking point, as a lot of things do when you own your own business. Jess and I, years ago, started specializing in the destination wedding space. And when you're shooting 35 weddings a year and every other week you're hopping on an airplane, it gets really exhausting to try to edit everything 10,000 feet up on a laptop and a hard drive. And so we thought maybe it's time, and it was frightening because we had never tried this before, and our work is very specific. If you've seen it, just as yours is, you want it to be perfect. And so out of necessity, we took a leap of faith and we found Freedom Edits. And that's who we use today. I'm gonna talk about them in a little bit, but we started outsourcing our editing. And I'm gonna walk you through every step we do, from as soon as the wedding's over to outsourcing to getting the images back and delivering them to the couple. But I want to talk about the time specifically right now. When Jess and I began shooting about 30 weddings on average a year, this was about 6 years ago when we started outsourcing our editing. We've been doing this a long time. When we began outsourcing our editing, we did the math. And this is true, I promise you. We saved, shooting 30 weddings a year, 60 8-hour work days a year. If you put that in terms of 9 to 5, that's 3 months. If you put that in terms of working 7 days a week, that's 2 full months of 8-hour work days that we saved simply by outsourcing some of our editing. What would you do with 60 extra days a year? Or what would you do? Shoot, what would you do with 30 extra days a year? What if there was a 13th month where you had no work? Would you take it all at once? Would you distribute it throughout the weeks like we have? We have an extra 1.5 days a week because of outsourcing editing. That's it. And we outsource a lot more now, and the time keeps getting more free. We can just take a day and a half off a week if we want to. Or we can take some of that time off and we can focus on only the things we can do. You know, we used to think we were the only ones that can edit. Freedom edits just as good as us. I cannot tell the difference if we edit it or they edited it. And isn't that like what you want from an editor? It's remarkable. But we get to work on things like this. If I didn't have the time to record these videos and to host these workshops and to build these courses and resources for other photographers, my desire to build up this industry and you and your business wouldn't even come to fruition because I wouldn't have the time to do it. But the more I outsource and the more time I clear up, my business runs better and I get to do the things only I can do. Because right now, only I can make these videos the way Jess and I want to. Only Jess and I can do this. So I want to talk about how we outsource. So Jess and I, like I said, we use Freedom Edits. They are a remarkable company. They attracted us because their hearts for the industry are the same. They want to build better businesses. They want to help us and you thrive in business, make more time, to have more freedom. It's in the freaking name. And right now, I want to walk through the steps of what we do and show you how seamless it is and some of the perks that come with outsourcing editing, as scary as it can be. And I want to preface all this right now. If you're on the fence, you can always go back. No matter what you want to outsource, no matter what you want to do, maybe it's contacting Freedom Edits and just having them do your first wedding or your first session, or just kind of start that relationship. Say you start outsourcing. You don't like it. Take it back. That's the best part about being the owner of a business. You can choose what you want to do with each task. And so my encouragement to you, as scary as it is, or as exciting as it is, sometimes those play jump rope, right, with our emotions as entrepreneurs, you can always take it back. So my encouragement to you is do it, outsource it. If it's not working out, give it a time frame. If it's just a no for you, take it back. I've done that sometimes. I've never done that with editing. And if you want, there's a link in the description. It's just freedomedits.com/James and Jess. They gave us our own page. And if you use the code James and Jess at checkout, you'll get 50% off your first edit, your first full wedding edit on them, 50% off, just because I use them so much and I wanted a relationship with them and I wanted to be able to promote them just for your sake so you can start outsourcing things. So that link's just in the description there. But without any further ado, I want to walk you through our very, very simple, very seamless way of outsourcing. And then I'm going to answer a few questions at the end that I usually get about how it works with Freedom Edits and outsourcing your editing. So step one, let's go this. Let's go shooting the wedding. Boom, we've shot the wedding. What Jess and I personally do is that night, keep in mind there's two of us. So say it's a Saturday, we just shot a wedding this past Saturday. That Saturday night, we get home. If it's not absurdly late, if it is, we'll do this Sunday morning. And Jess she won't even call. She'll just put in the cards into her hard drive and she'll pick 10 to 20, 25 max, 10 to 20 images for the Instagram story. I'll be building the Instagram story and Jess will be editing the highlights. So by the time I'm ready to post, I'll post the Instagram story, I'll post the highlights in the slideshow in the Instagram story, and we'll text those couples to the bride and groom. That's step one. Edit 10 to 20 highlights, Instagram it, send it to the couple, because it's the digital world we live in, which is beautiful, and there's no excuse for them not to wake up to wedding photos on their wedding weekend. Someone's gonna text them those photos anyways. It might as well be the ones they paid for, and that should be, and I'm confident with you that they are the best photos. That's step one. Step two is Jess she won't cull, she'll go through each card and she'll pick 100 to 150 highlights for the album slideshow, the highlight reel. A lot of people do blogging. Jess and I blog weddings, but personally we send an album slideshow. It's a digital slideshow. It's beautiful. If you're not doing this, I'm gonna try to link a video here or here that describes that process more and how powerful it is. But that's what we do. And those 100 to 150 images tell the story from start to finish, from getting ready to the grand exit or the final dance, whatever that looks like. That's how we pick those, and that's how we design that album slideshow. And then we send that slideshow to the couple. That's it. That's it for editing and culling for us. We take the highlights, put them on Instagram, send them to the bride and groom, and then we put them 150 in a slideshow and send it to them. That's all we do for editing. That is it. After that, step three is Jess puts all the images, sends all the images to Freedom Edits, even the ones they cull for us. So all of them, we don't pick and choose, we send them all to them. And they have reference images, they have our color profiles, we've created presets for ourselves that they have. And then that's it. They cull through the wedding, they edit the photos, and then step four is they send them back to us. We do a final look through to make sure everything looks good. Step five was we upload them to CloudSpot and we send them to the couple. After that, of course, there's more steps for us because we offer them the album and give them a chance to order upgraded pages in their album because we want them to get that story from start to finish. But the only 2 steps are the first 2. We touch the photos. We edit the highlights for Instagram. We edit the highlights for the slideshow. And then we're hands off until we just do a final look through. That's how easy it is. And if you're on the fence, that's all you need to know. It's super, super easy. And on top of that, Freedom Edits has a page. I actually linked it under here, freedomedits.com/tutorials. If you go there, Ryan, the owner, who has a beautiful Welsh accent, by the way, he's very easy to listen to, and he's one of the most amazing humans I know. I've spent plenty of time with him. Jess and I have vacationed with him, and we've done business together and picked his brain. I was like, this guy has a heart of gold, and he truly cares. And he has this whole page of tutorials of how to upload, how to download, how the whole process works. So if you're just curious, you can hit that link, and you're going to learn so much about Freedom Edits. And that is it for our workflow, and that's how easy it is. That gap of sending the images to Freedom Edits to when we get them back, that was the 8 hours a week per wedding. And that doesn't count double headers, which we have plenty of this year because of all the postponements. Weddings are back on, praise the Lord. But that's how much time we saved. It takes, 15 minutes to send and 15 minutes to get back and look through and upload. That is where we started saving 68-hour workdays a year. So whether it's 5 workdays, 10 workdays, 30, in our case, 60 workdays a year, I would argue that even 2 workdays a year would be worth outsourcing for. And I know if you do this, you're going to save so much more time to open up to spending more time with your family, traveling more, learning more like this. Maybe you're watching YouTube videos and taking courses to better your business than sitting there editing all day. And if that's what it means, that alone is worth its weight in gold to outsource editing. So my encouragement to you is just go try it. And one of the things, when we started outsourcing culling, which is where, they pick the good and the bad, I got really concerned. It's like, well, what if they get rid of one that I really, really wanted? One, hasn't happened yet because not only is the time removed, but the emotions are removed. They're seeing images for what they're worth visually in the storytelling mode. And if you're photographing right, which I'm sure you are, you're here learning more and you're giving it all you've got, they see what is most valuable in the story. And Jess and I even laugh. We'll go through and be like, oh, they didn't pick that one. I remember taking that. And then 10 later, I was like, that one's way better. I'm glad they picked that. And the best part is, all you have to do, the way they do it in Lightroom, it's a Lightroom catalog. They don't get rid of them. They just select them. So you can actually you can look at the unselected images that they never deleted, and you can add them back in if you really want to. So you never really lose anything, even though they're expert cullers as well as editors. And one last thing to mention, if you haven't been convinced yet, not only do you get time back, but you get emotional health back. Not that it's unhealthy to edit these things, but it's straining. You go through the wedding, you feel the emotions, you remember the tension, and you remember this, or you're just I love this wedding, and you're trying to, it takes you so much longer because you're emotionally attached to those images. The editor is not, and they see it for the value of what it is visually in the story, and that saves you so much time and emotions of going through, culling, and editing every single wedding. So my friends, that is how you create time. You find things in your business and you outsource them. In this case, my number one as a photographer is start outsourcing your editing. Jess and I even send engagement sessions to them now. And I can talk all about that process. If you have questions, throw them here in the comments. If you do outsource, throw them here. If you have fears about outsourcing, put them in the comments here. I'm happy to help. And if you want to give this a try for 50% off, go to freedomedits.com/JamesandJess. That's in the link below. And you can start outsourcing right now and saving time. Like I said, 60 work days a year. That's a lot of freedom, and that's a lot of time back. Thank you, my friends, for spending time with me. If you have questions about outsourcing, I'm here in the comments. You can also reach out at james@jamesandjess.com with any questions, comments, or concerns. Until next time, know that you are capable of great and amazing things, and I will see you in the next episode.